Saddle Mountain Ranch is known for having something for everybody: RV spots, camping sites, luxury cabins. But there's another way you can experience your time here, and that's in a tiny house. Liz and Jason brought their tiny house up from Orange County, and they were kind enough to tell us their story and give us a tiny tour. And so, how has it been for you here at Saddle Mountain Ranch?
It's been amazing. We've had a great time hanging out at our tiny house, and we have a great view, and the dogs got to go to
Right, you have two
and,
dogs to go with you. And that's their dog bed? Do they both sleep in the same bed, or no?
So we actually have two dog beds, but we also have the bed of our truck. So during the day, we put away the second bed because our little dog hogs the bed and our older dog doesn't get any space if we only have one.
So where are you guys from?
Well, we live in Orange County.
Orange County.
And he's from New Hampshire and I'm from New York City.
And are you full-time in your tiny house, or is this a part-time thing for you?
We'd like it to be full-time, me more than him. It was my dream, actually. I started loving the tiny houses about 8 years ago.
So I'm on TV or something? How did you get turned on to tiny houses?
Oh, it wasn't on TV 8 years ago. No one had heard of tiny houses 8 years ago, and I saw a pamphlet that someone had made, Jay Schaefer, who started Tumbleweed Tiny House, and he now runs Four Lights Tiny House.
Right.
But he sent out a pamphlet to, I think, like Barnes & Noble or something like that, and my sister brought it home, and I fell in love with them. And actually, Tumbleweed is the company that we had build our tiny house.
Right, but you designed it, Jason told me.
Yeah, so I designed it, and I had a designer's help, but the concepts were my idea, and then Tumbleweed, Jonathan at Tumbleweed made the design actually feasible, because obviously, you know, I say I want a fold-up countertop, and he says, okay, well, we have to move this to make the plans work.
So, Jason, you're on board with this?
I'm on board with this.
Yeah, and what is it about tiny houses that you like? What is it about it?
Oh, it's just very simple, and you can go places that, obviously, in a lot more comfort and luxury, honestly, than if you're camping or hiking or carrying your life on your back.
Right.
Pack. This is deluxe accommodations for the more remote areas, and you can bring
That
it
sound,
anywhere.
by the way, is not. It's the dog having a drink here.
Yeah.
He's 10. We give him a break.
Yeah.
You surprised me by telling me that you could get it. You have no problem driving this down the freeway.
No.
You have a big truck.
Yeah, it's been absolutely straightforward. Just you definitely notice it, especially in high winds. But I think that's true of any
RV, any trailer, right?
And it's been really good and hasn't taken any damage on the outside. We've driven through the rain. We hit a bad storm bringing it back from Colorado Springs when we were driving through Utah, and got absolutely soaked, but the house didn't look any dirtier, probably because the color that you picked was a nice gray, neutral.
Practicality is important.
Practicality, right.
Everything gets used much more than in a big house.
Now, you've been quite comfortable, as you said, here at Saddle Mountain Ranch, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we love it here.
Some RV parks have no idea what to do with you guys when you drive in. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Actually,
People have been accommodating?
I think the two Koas that we stayed out when we were towing it back from Colorado were they were both pull-throughs, and because it's a certified RV, the hookups and everything else were very straightforward, and they didn't look at us any different. I think we are a little bit taller than most at 13 feet 6 inches, but we've had no problems with clearance. Seems like everybody cuts their.
So RV parks have been cool,
Yeah.
accommodating to you.
Very much.
So, and before I get away from that, because I want you to tell us a little more detail about the house, but here in Monterey, you guys have been out pretty much every day doing something, right?
Yes.
Tell us what you've been doing here.
The aquarium. I love
The
the
best,
aquarium.
number one in the world is that aquarium, huh?
Yes, and it is my favorite thing to do. The first time we came here, I actually had shingles, which is very odd.
Oh my!
Yeah, but I decided not to cancel vacation, and came really sick because I wanted to go to the aquarium so badly.
We stayed in the hotel the entire time.
And Jason was nice enough to drive us up here so that I could go again for Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah, great. So the aquarium is number one, but you said you were out on the surf too. You were at Carmel Beach.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, just yesterday we were at Carmel Beach.
You have a what is it? A paddle board or what is
She
it?
has a stand-up paddle. That I
It's
got her
above
for
your head.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
right.
really. I was looking for sea otters. I didn't get to see any, so we're gonna go to Moss Landing later today. But I did get to see a lot of harbor seals.
You'll certainly see them up there at Moss Landing, the sea otters, right?
Yeah.
So you're very much into the sea, into the ocean.
Yes. I scuba dive also. I used to live in Australia, and I was a dive master there at Byron Bay Dive Center. So I've always loved the ocean. It's been like that my whole life.
What do you guys do for a living?
So I'm a full-time student right now. I'll be graduating from Chapman University with a degree in environmental ecology.
Oh, cool. How about you, Jason?
I work in a network operations center, and for a big software development company.
Oh, okay. So you're in the computer world.
Yes.
So tell us, give us a little tour, can you? Tell us
I'll
about
let
this.
you do that.
Sure. Well, right here, we'll start with...
Actually, I want to tell you that the people watching out there, there's a lot more room in here than I thought there was going to be.
Yeah. And
Plenty of room.
without dogs, there's even more room.
Yeah.
Right, right,
Without paddleboards, too. So this is the seating area to your right.
right.
So this actually is a piece of wood. And this is a great tumbleweed design. They came up with this. This pulls out and becomes a desk if you want it to be.
Oh, okay.
So it slides back into these grooves. This is actually a crib mattress because by coincidence, tumbleweed's design is about the size of a crib mattress.
Right.
We have two
Can
doors.
make that into a bed.
A lot of people do that, but because we chose to have two doors, which is unusual, we decided that we weren't going to turn it into a bed, but if we wanted to, we could.
Right. You have a little. You have the back door, and you have
So this,
kind of a little
this we
porch
call
back
the
there.
front door.
Oh, okay.
And then the one behind you, which we can show as we walk to the other side.
Right.
This one is a non-standard door. Most people don't have that door. And so most people would have a larger couch here, but we didn't opt for that.
Gotcha.
This is our countertop. This is our kitchen.
Right.
This countertop folds down. It's a propane stove.
Great. Actually, a lot of counter space there.
Yeah. But all of the inner workings of the tiny house are under here. So unlike a normal kitchen, we don't have a lot of storage space under there. But when you're trying to simplify your lifestyle, you don't really want a lot of stuff because in a small space, you need to have multifunction everything.
Right.
And then we have a washer-dryer combo.
Here, I'll get out of the way.
Oh, you actually have a washer and dryer in here.
So it's washer-dryer combo. Basically, it washes your clothes and then cooks them at the very end.
Right. Cooks them, huh?
As my wool Christmas sweater found out. But and it works pretty well as long as you don't have anything that shrinks.
Right.
And we have a farm sink, which is sort of unusual for a tiny house.
Oh, yeah. Big sink.
It's acrylic, so that it's not as heavy. You do have to worry about the tongue weight on your truck
Right.
when you're pulling this down the road. This tiny house is about 12,000 pounds. And that's not including like the full water tank
Right.
or anything like that. We have two closets. One here and then one back there. This one has a door. And so we put all our coats and stuff in here. And we also have our heater in here. So the air intake is in here, so I can't let any of my long dresses clog
a
the intake.
Propane or electric heater?
It's propane.
Propane heater. Cool.
And apartment fridge. So like we have the very bare essentials in here.
Yeah, but
Broccolini, eggs,
pretty good size.
apple, just the simple stuff.
Right.
And then this is my bathroom. I'll stand in
Look
the
at this tub.
for scale because I love my bathtub.
Oh, yeah.
Tumbleweed
Fantastic.
he did this for me, and I'm very grateful to them for fitting my tub in because
Right.
I think it might have been quite an engineering feat. to get
Yeah,
in
just,
here.
well, it's amazing about corners, isn't it?
Yeah,
What you can do with corners.
I had a tub like this when I was a kid, actually, so it's sort of dear to my heart to
Oh,
have the
cool.
corner tub, but it was about a quarter of the size. But, I mean, I guess when I was a kid, I fit in just as well as I fit in this
Right.
window. And so we have another closet here, so we can use more space if we need to.
So pretty good
Right.
for space.
Yeah, and then we have a Nature's Head composting toilet,
Oh, okay.
which is, I don't know how much detail you want to go in, but it's split into 2 parts. I'll let you guys do the math on that.
Well, pretty amazing. And let me turn around and catch Pamela and Jason back over here to kind of give an idea about
And then
this.
the-
Okay, so the only thing we haven't covered is where do you sleep?
Yeah, so, well, here are stairs. They have drawers.
Right. How cool
That's
is
where
that?
most of our clothes stay. And this bottom drawer, we can't pull it out because Diego's taking a nap. But is really long, so we can store a lot of clothing in there.
Right.
And since we can wash every single day, we don't have to worry about it that much. We don't have to have a lot of clothes. It's a queen size bed. We have what are those called? Those cabinets on the side that you have in a boat. So instead of having drawers, you flip them up on either side, so those serve as your bedside table. And we have 4 skylights. They all open. We can
Yeah,
watch
it's
the
very
stars.
light.
Yeah.
Very light. This is not dark in here at all.
There are 17 windows and 2 door windows in this house, which is more than most mansions.
I was surprised, Jason, you're talking about that it was easy to pull, easy to drive down the road.
Very much so. Yeah.
But you still have to be brave.
We had absolutely no problem
Sure.
with any of the mountains. Like going up the steep grades. What's the name of the coming into Monterey? They don't recommend trucks on it.
Oh,
Los Laureles.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. And,
So you pulled it over Los Laureles.
Yep.
Uh,
It
you
was
are
a little
brave.
tight, but well, we didn't know what we were getting into. We checked the map and it looked okay.
Yeah.
They don't show some of those curves and some of the grades on there.
Right.
But even coming up this hill right here was no problem for the truck.
So thank you very much for your tour of your tiny house. It was kind of a tiny tour, actually.
Thanks for coming in.
and so the people out there that are watching, you'd recommend Saddle Mountain Ranch for a place to bring their tiny houses?
For sure, we
Yeah.
love it here. For sure. I mean, it's dog friendly. Our dogs love it here. And a lot of places aren't dog friendly. We have great
Right.
views. We have that hike up the hill. It's really nice.
Yeah,
Right.
that run is actually pretty challenging. It's,
Oh, going up,
Yeah.
taking the hike up to the top of the mountain.
Yep, a lot
We
of
have
fun.
that beautiful marriage chapel up the hill.
Right.
Yes, like the wilderness. I didn't know that was there.
Right.
It's really cool.
Plus, you come back in the summertime and you get the pool here and
Yeah, the pool
And
actually
hanging
looks
out a
really
little.
nice. I'm surprised you guys don't
And
heat it.
horseshoeing. And
So-
Davin.
So the future, what do you think? What new things are going to do? You're going to take the tiny house all over the U.S.
So
or
our plan is to keep it locally in Monterey, and while we look for a place to plant it permanently, we're going to store it here and then bring it further north, maybe up to Oregon coast,
Oh.
and then further north from there, and see where we end up
Right.
stopping.
would you like to do it full time at some point?
We'll see.
Well, yeah. Well, being in the computer business, you work in the cloud, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then as soon as school's over, you can be anywhere. You might even be at the aquarium, working at the aquarium for a while.
You hear that, Monterey Bay Aquarium? I want to work there so bad.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I love it
That
there.
would be good. Great. Well, thank you very kindly. Thanks
Thank
for
you
your
so
tour
much
and
for
thanks for
coming.
talking to us on RV Dream. We really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Paul.